The trouble is, her constituency, Redditch, is a marginal seat with a tiny 2,700 majority. If she was to lose it at the next election, convention would see Jacqui elevated to the Lords. Not a bad job for a woman who proved such a laugh at uni playing the bunny, bunny, bunny drinking game. And I love that photo. So much so, in fact, I got our art department to mock up a snap of Jacqui in the Lords. What do you reckon? Trouble is, many of her constituents and some members of the Lords are dead against the idea of her joining them. In Redditch, locals are running a campaign demanding her immediate resignation and a pledge from Downing Street that she won't get a peerage. Voters there are furious with her part in the expenses debacle. And you'll remember that despite the Standards inquiry finding she'd broken the rules when she claimed a £116,000 second home allowance on her primary home instead of the other way round, all she's had to do is apologise. She's not repaid 1 penny of that sum. She resigned as Home Secretary earlier this year after it emerged she claimed expenses for 2 porn films enjoyed by her husband and an 88p bath plug. She's since paid that money back, though. While in March...
Was it a package?
Just the porn films.
And
I think I watched one twice.
All right, OK. I just wondered...
Raw meets 3.
And what is a bath plug?
It came free with the DVD.
It's the little...
It comes with the DVD.
Now, back in March, there was a leaked poll of Labour Party members in which she was named as the worst-performing member of the Cabinet. The last Home Secretary, by the way, not to get a peerage after resigning or losing their seat was Reginald Morling, who was forced to leave Cabinet in 1972 following a police investigation into one of his business associates. But I'll say it one more time. If we give Michael Martin, our disgraced Speaker, the first Speaker to be forced from office in over 300 years, if he gets a seat in the office, that's him arriving on Tuesday, by the way, then why not Jacqui Smith, Mark?
Well, there you go. That's right. You pointed out the Speaker of the House, who was actually... He had some dubious dealings, and he left. And then Tuesday he came back, but he slipped under the wire. He was under the radar, didn't he? No one mentioned him. And now it's... Now, can you explain to me, what is a peerage?
You become ennobled. You get to sit in the House of Lords, you get to claim generous expenses, you get to drink fine wine.
So she gets more money.
And you get to
I don't mean about the perks, but what's the job?
You get to review government legislation.
That's
You're
right.
an unelected House, but... I'm really torn here, because I know some Lords.
Yes.
And the political Lords, and they really do act with the best intentions.
I agree. I've seen some really responsible things said by lords and ladies. But would not honesty be part of a remit for someone in that position? It should be, and if it's not, well, we need to look at that.
The bottom line is, if they'd ordered her to repay the money, I'm sure she would. So is it Jacqui's fault?
No, it's not. She's going by spirit of the law rather than the law.
Yes.
And, you know, she's tough, she's ruthless, she's up there trying to break that glass ceiling.
Yes.
Someone has to do it.
So you're saying...
Saying, well, I think the criteria for being a peer needs to be looked at.
Right. But at in the current situation, you wouldn't see any reason to bar her from sitting...
It'd be a bit worrying if 56% of the party think that she's not doing a good job.
Yeah.
And then
As Home Secretary?
As Home Secretary. But
she
then...
might do much better, freed from that responsibility.
What do the other peers think? Do they think this might stain their role?
Most of them are asleep or in the bar,
right.
so... But the ones that responded, all I can tell you is some aren't up for the idea.
Yes, fair enough.
I have a question.
Go on.
Why is her husband watching porn? Is she not home enough?
If I was married to Jacqui Smith, I wouldn't be watching her. I wouldn't be watching porn. I think she's a very attractive former Home Secretary, that's all I'm saying. I mean that, I really do. I think she's a lovely lady.
Oh, I love the fact we get talking about porn when we're talking about peerages. I love you being on the show. It's great, I love you.
So, do you think, I mean, bearing in mind her crime as such, she's apologised for, she's done everything that's been asked of her by the investigating committee. Convention says that should she lose her seat or resign, she would be offered a peerage. Can you think of any reason why she shouldn't be offered a peerage?
I really can't, you know, but I do think she should pay the money back, whether they ask her to or not.
Ah, right.
Yes.
116,000 reasons, perhaps, to stop her becoming a lord. Good point. I'd say it's a very good point. Let's throw it open to you. Would you want Jacqui Smith sitting in the House of Lords? Kirsty.
First, we have Diana on line 1.
Morning, Diana.
Good morning, Matthew.
Where should Jacqui Smith be sitting?
Thank you, Matthew. Good morning. I
Morning.
think I've got a lovely seat for her, would be in the House of Ladies. Holloway Prison, along with all the rest of them and all the other men. Because I think we're supposed to have legal justice in this country, and they're supposed to be honourable ladies and gentlemen. Well, I think they've shown their worth, don't you?
I'll say again, you know, it's the investigating committee and the Legg inquiry. They've both concluded that, you know, she doesn't have to pay the money back.
What about the rest of us, Matthew? If it happened to us, I think we'd be in court by now.
Yes,
but thrown away.
Yeah, you know, I don't make the rules. If I did, we would all be on holiday. Because she's not...
I think this country is as much as fault, because we should all be protesting at the moment, marching on Downing Street and asking for an election and get this Prime Minister and all these crummy people...
Diana! Comrade, sister! You could therefore say, Diana, that maybe we're not actually that bothered enough about it, and therefore clear the way for her to sit in the Lords. If we really cared, like when we cared about fox hunting or the war, we did march in our hundreds of thousands and our millions to stop the war. Didn't do any good, of course, but that's democracy. Thank you for the call. Let's have another.
Carol's on line 2.
Carol, good morning.
Morning, Matthew.
Does she deserve a seat in the Lords?
No, definitely not. This whole thing makes my blood boil. They seem to get away with murder. I have a 25-year-old severely disabled son who gets £500 a month and has to jump through hoops to claim it. And the receipts I have to show what he spends it on.
I bet.
It was unbelievable. And a short while ago, he was slightly overpaid. He was overpaid £2 or £3. We had to pay it back. And if I apologise, because it was my mistake, I deal with his finances for him, they don't care. He doesn't even get free dental treatment, and his medication he pays for out of this money. These people do not live on this planet. I don't care if she stood up and apologised 1,000,000 times and got down on her bended knees. The whole lot of them should be got rid of. They are a disgrace.
Use your vote then, Carol. Use your vote. That's the one thing. It's the one thing that is within everybody's power, yeah? That, you know, what do we get? 45% turnout in the election if we're lucky. 65% of the country sitting back saying, oh, I don't care, it's fine. If you're bothered about it, use your vote.
Exactly, I agree with you 100%.
Thank you, sister. Remember, the revolution is going to be televised here on Channel 5. Thank you. Let's have another. Sorry, Mark, go on.
No, so I just got to, you know, we've got to be careful now, because we're starting to think, OK, what's the alternative if we get this government now? What is the alternative?
Well, you'd hope that there would be...
rather it's even scarier.
Well, you'd hope that we would review this situation and get it under control. I mean, what I find fascinating is that we've spent all of this part of the week talking about the expensive situation that has happened, and yet we still haven't got in place new rules that will ensure a complete transparency of expenses.
Yeah.
We still can't even agree on whether we should pay our MPs more or put them in some kind of social housing so they can't profit from the property market. Nothing has actually been put in place, as far as I can see, that would ensure it doesn't happen again.
We need
just
leadership.
like city bankers and bonuses.
We need leadership, and strong leadership now. Come on, Gord. Come on, back from holidays, Gord. Get into it. Do something.
OK.
Say something, Gord.
Let's have another, please, Kirsty.
Jennifer, and she's on line 3.
Jennifer, good morning.
Good morning.
Does she deserve a seat in the Lords?
Of course not.
Michael Martin's got one.
It shows to me that crime certainly pays. And what we've forgotten here is the fact that she actually had a free grace and favour residence if she wanted to use it. And she, to claim this one room as your main home, to me, I didn't read in the paper that she'd left her husband and children. These people are in a job too far, and they spend too much time taking from us than they do giving to us. And I think it's just all corrupt. This government is totally corrupt.
But Jennifer, you know, I'll say again, the guy that's reviewed this, Thomas Legg, you know, he could have... I mean, it's very interesting. He's picked on 2 areas of expenses, hasn't he, which is cleaning and gardening. And that's all he seems to have focused on. And all the second home allowances and flipping, sort of, it's almost been ignored. So if there's
I don't agree with that either. He should have tackled all the...
Maybe, but then surely our beef should be with him and not Jacqui Smith, because it's he who has decided an apology is enough.
But if she had any conscience and principle, she knew at the time that she was claiming for something that wasn't true. It wasn't her main residence, and she had a grace and favour apartment.
Then
she had her second residence in London. We didn't have to pay for another one for her.
Then you come to Jackie's point that perhaps she should do the right thing and repay the money regardless.
Money back. Absolutely. Pay the money back. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'll put 50 quid on it. She doesn't. Thank you for the call, Jennifer. One more before the break?
Yeah, with a different view. Alan's on line 4.
Morning, Alan.
Hello, good morning. I think Jacqui's very entitled to be ennobled to the House of Lords.
Why is that?
Well, she's done a very difficult job, very successfully. These people don't just come...
Hang on. Very successfully, her own Labour peers think that she was the least competent member of the Cabinet when she was in Home Secretary.
Everything is very comparative. Everything is relative.
Well, that's her own peers.
The people who, for instance, are voting...
Violent crime, Alan. I remind you, violent crime went up under Jacqui Smith's tenure.
I could give Jacqui Smith 9 out of 10.
OK, and have you ever played bunny with her? Bunny, 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 up, bunny, up, bunny. No?
No, I mean, when you're a student, you're a student, and you live the student's life.
Absolutely.
How you evolve your personality.
Absolutely. But you think she deserves the... it's interesting you view her so highly, because I did too up to a point, but she's lost my respect, I think, over the handling of this. It really does stink. Thank you for the call.